Hi, this is Kerry Cassidy from Project Camelot. I just wanted to let everyone know that this recording of Douglas Hagmann on my Revolution Radio show on Friday, I believe it was May 18th, was originally completely deleted and wiped off the servers of the Revolution Radio show. It has been contributed, this recording, by a listener who has very kindly sent it to us, and we are very happy to be able to present it for you today. We are leaving on the beginning of the show because the whole radio station was taken down for the first 35 minutes of my show, and with both of these occurrences, I can't help but feel that this has been intentional, and from what I understand, the Revolution servers have also been under attack since Friday, all through the weekend as well. I'm not sure why they didn't want this out there. We didn't get as many answers as I was hoping to get from Mr. Hagmann, and we are very much hoping to get him back on the show at some point at a later date, but I encourage you to listen to this. It is quite revealing in some ways. So thank you very much for listening. This is Kerry Cassidy from Project Camelot.
I don't know for sure he'll be here, but can I give you the phone number?
Yeah, type it. Go ahead and type it.
Okay.
So we're on the air now. Sorry about that. All right, folks. Revolution Radio, Freedom Slip. Sorry for the weirdness there. It looked like every producer in the station was all trying to call the server at once, and nobody could get in.
Oh, okay. All right. So am I on the air?
Yes, you are on the air, and if you could type his phone number or his...
I did.
Oh, is that his Scott? Oh,
that's his phone number.
Okay, and do you need me to call him now?
Please.
Okay, I'll take care of that, and sorry about that. Go ahead and do your intro.
Okay. Are you saying you want me to do it, or you're going to do it?
No, I'm going to go ahead and call him if you want to go ahead. We're live, and you can go ahead and do your...
Okay, great. Okay. Sorry about this. I don't know. This is really crazy. I don't know what's going on over there. I just rolled into this resort here at Mount Shasta after 8 miles an hour. It's just going crazy, and just trying to make it here. And then I get here and I can't get on the server for some reason. The whole radio show system seems to be down. So it's just... can't believe this wildness. Wow, it's just amazing. We're trying to get my guest, and I don't even know if he knows he's here. So I guess we're calling him right now.
Yeah, I didn't get any note from your producer that he might not be here, so...
Okay, yeah, I'm afraid it's possible. I guess it's possible.
You've reached Hagmann Investigative Services. We're unable to take
Oh, God. Okay.
number. We'll return your call as soon as possible.
Somebody's trying to interfere with the situation. Hi, this is Kerry Cassidy from Project Camelot. We are trying to get hold of you to bring you on my show tonight. I kind of think you had agreed to do so, and so if you get this message in the next, hour, please do try to call me at 310-279. Oh God, I'm giving this over the air.
Hold on, don't say anything else. I'll do this from the other side.
Could you do that? Thank you. Okay, so hopefully we're leaving a message with him. I didn't want to give my personal phone number over the air. That would really be not such a great thing. Anyway, so I know it's crazy. So what do I say? Sean David Morton is here. From what I understand, he's actually live on American Freedom Radio right now. I probably shouldn't even be saying that, but so we're both trying to do radio shows from Mount Shasta. It is actually gorgeous here. It's quite warm. I'm actually shocked. It's so warm. I don't know why. I just didn't permeate my brain that it was going to be so warm. It's actually warmer than LA right here. So, that's a good thing. That's actually kind of fun. And this looks like a great place, although I haven't really been able to stop and look at anything. I think it's going to be a fun event. It's going to be, actually sort of mind altering just because of I would say the setting, which is just wild. And what I want to say is that there's so much going on, as you can appreciate, and I just want to let people know that we did have an incident in which this particular whistleblower just passed away. Those people that have read my blog are aware of it. Hold on one second. I might be getting a message here, so I'm just trying to make sure that we.
I called separately from my landline and left him a message, and hopefully we will hear back.
Okay, that would be really awesome. Yeah, I know something has been interfering with my emails to him, so it's possible that he really just never got the second email. He did agree to come on the show, so I did book him and put him on my site as well. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. Anyway, I had trouble getting emails to him initially anyway. I'm not sure why they would interfere. Douglas Hagmann has, the links are on my blog, so you should go to my blog and look, just scroll down and you'll see the intro to who he is and his website and so on and so forth. And apparently he just has a lot of detractors out there. So the reason I'm bringing him on my show is to actually, talk about that and see what's going on. The interesting thing is that I did not agree with his initial posting about Rosebud, who is his whistleblower, who is talking about what Homeland Security is and isn't doing. And they're also, that particular whistleblower is also on his website talking about, Obama and Obama taking the reins and doing this and doing that. And I made a very, fairly contentious posting on my site. This was back on May 9th. So if you go to projectcamelot.org or projectcamelotportal.com front page, scroll down to the blog, and then keep scrolling because you'll see that we did have a whistleblower that passed on, Ed Loughran, wonderful man who, I encourage you to listen to that interview, that we did about the Kennedy ballistics. But I will talk about that in just a minute and get into that. But let me finish about Hagmann. So scroll down below that and you'll see Douglas Hagmann had agreed to come on my show tonight. Unfortunately, I was late and I wasn't able to put a call in to him during the day, which I should have done, I guess. I've just been in a plane and trains and automobiles all day. And so having just landed, didn't get a chance to do that. And I should have had my sort of radio show co-producer, assistant person do this, but I didn't even think to get that together. So that's where my mind's at. But if you read what I wrote on my blog post, I was actually questioning his whistleblower and him and just, kind of laying it on the line with questions. What was very interesting about that is that then he wrote to me, and I had already asked him on my radio show. He never got that message, but on his own, he wrote to me and said that he doesn't normally write to people. And then he was very complimentary, basically saying, sort of complimenting me on, my analysis and getting it right, so to speak. So that struck me as an interesting twist, because here's this guy who has a lot of detractors out there, who has gone out there with a whistleblower, and I have basically kind of called them on a couple of their points, and he has the good graces to actually not only write to me, but to compliment me on some information, and also tell me that there are many things he's not able to say out there. And it's a complex story. And I've actually asked a friend covertly to come on the show behind here and also give me some great questions, because this person is in a position to do that from, you might say, a law enforcement point of view. And so I don't know if they're on the line out there anywhere, but if they are, and if they are listening, I'm going to see if I can Skype them behind the scenes a bit here too. So while we're doing all this, might as well just be so crazy. But basically what happened is as far as going out there at this late juncture and saying that the Homeland Security is planning for civil war, some people would say that is trying to trigger you out there to do civil war, so to speak. And the fact of the matter is that what I said in my statement, if you read it, if you had the time to read it, is that, there are plenty of patriot groups out there that are seriously considering, rebelling against the government at this time simply because things have gotten so out of hand. And, I don't know, you'd have to live under a rock, many feet down, I guess, to not know how out of hand they have gotten, in terms of the NDAA and the Patriot Act was, one could say, the beginning, but I'm sure it began even before that, where a lot of our rights are just being written off on a daily basis. So the reason, so obviously he has this whistleblower called Rosebud, who's supposedly somewhere in the White House or in sort of close quarters to the White House and getting some information, about Obama and this and that. But I've also got my sources in this way, and, they simply don't line up with the testimony from Rosebud. So this is why I wanted to have the man on my show. I wanted to question him about okay, my back channel source came on here. But anyway, I wanted to question Rosebud. Well, not Rosebud, but Hagmann. I'd love to question Rosebud to his face, but I'm sure that's not an option. So with bringing Hagmann on my show, I just want to say that there's a very interesting game being played, and we have had at Project Camelot other people who have sort of blown the whistle from behind the scenes at the Homeland Security. And so not everything and not everyone who works for that, I imagine it's like a humongous organization at this point, is a bad person. So, and we were told that they were planning for all sorts of things. That's a given. I don't think this is news to anyone. Certainly, if you're in the United States right now, you know that they're trying to take it down. They're trying to take down our financial system on a daily basis. And, so for Hagmann to come out on, and report a whistleblower, and, I have this law enforcement friend, or this friend who has, I don't know, former ties to law enforcement, I guess you could call it. And he's basically saying that, maybe the guy doesn't even have a source. I mean, this is the kind of stuff, that's where their minds go, because they question just everything. And they do it in a very sort of aggressive manner, even much more aggressive than me, believe it or not. It looks like, I don't know. Okay. I'm just getting a couple messages here. I'm not sure what's happening behind the scenes, but, we're going to just keep on keeping on here for a little while. I will take callers. So if you want to call in and chat with me, this is your opportunity to do so, because, obviously my scheduled guest is to be showing up. Now, I also want to say that we do have a chat room. So if you go to the Project Camelot website and click on chat, you can also go into the chat, and then you can also ask me questions from there. I will to try to get on there as well. So while I'm kind of trying to walk and chew gum at the same time here, and it's not that easy. Feel you, man.
My site, we're taking a bunch of hacks. Looks like I'm getting a lot of timeout errors from your site, and your guest site is also up and down. So,
okay, so something is really. I mean, actually, and I am on the chat now. So if you're on the chat, I'm on the chat, and And so feel free to come forward to call in and to chat. And the call in numbers are, if you want what do you call it? Call in to the number for Revolution Radio. It is actually on my website. So if you go to Whistleblower Radio and you click on Whistleblower Radio, or you click on the show archive, and then you scroll down, we've got
347-688-2902, Kerry.
Could you just repeat it right there?
Yeah, 347-688-2902 if you'd like to call in.
Okay, thank you very much. Is this Nighthawk, by the way?
Yes, it is.
Okay, I just wanted to know who I was talking to. Sorry to be a little bit out there today, but
it's okay. I normally am right here when your show starts, but the sun was going down and I was outside messing around with telescopes. And then I got a call and
great. I'm getting a caller here who's saying that I can interview him. I would love to interview you. And what do you want me to call you by your name? And can we have you? I'm going to add you. Can I add this guy to the call? Is that all right?
I would need to add him. Can you give me a contact?
Yeah. Can you just hold one second? Let me get his Skype name for you. Okay. It's kind of a bizarre name. So hold on one second.
Okay. You could actually, what you can do is you can drag him into the call and then I'll see it and then I can take it from there.
Okay. There's his Skype name.
Yeah, all right. He's actually one of our hosts. Here you go.
So I'm now trying to say, I just want to ask him if I can use his real name or if he wants a fake name.
No, he's fine. He's actually one of our hosts here at Revolution Radio.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, you're talking about Michael Hemmingson, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought he was somebody else. I'm not sure. Okay, cool. Michael, are you there? Okay, I guess they're going to try to get him on the line.
Yeah, I have him, but I'm not hearing him.
Okay, that's fine. Maybe
I'm here. I'm here.
There you go.
Okay, great.
Can
Hi
you
there.
hear me?
Yeah. Okay, so why would you know about Chinese troops? Tell me this.
Well, we've talked on email before.
Okay, so
actually,
because you're actually down there?
Yes.
You are? Okay, and you're actually willing to say that on the air and everything?
I already have. Actually, thank you for I became a host on Revolution Radio because we were emailing and
God.
What's that?
No, it's so funny how this goes on. Okay, go ahead.
No. We had been emailing each other, and then I listened to your first show on Revolution Radio, and I heard Nighthawk say, "Well, if you want to do a show, give me an email." I thought, well, why not? So now I'm here as a host.
That is so funny. I just couldn't believe you were the same guy. That's hilarious. Okay, great. Well, that's cool, and more power to you. So, there you are. Anyway, this guy is one of my sources. He's been a background source just because he was down in that location, down in, I don't know, what do you call it, Baja or Mexico, right?
Tijuana.
Okay. And
that general area.
Yeah, and so let's talk about that, because there are some people that are skeptical about what's going on, and I'd love you to just tell people the truth.
Well, I've worked as a journalist down in Tijuana since 2006, mainly covering the drug cartels and the violence down there, which was pretty crazy in 2006, 7, and 8. It's calmed down a little bit. But I had noticed over the years, the past 3 or 4 years, an incredible amount of Chinese immigrants coming in, and they were all men in their 20s and 30s. And we're talking tens of thousands, and they all have a lot of money. I do know that the Chinese government is investing quite a bit of money in the Tijuana infrastructure with buildings and businesses and stuff like that. And I had heard for a while that there was a Chinese troop buildup on the border. so I started seeing. I wanted to see if this was true, so I started going out to the desert area around, Calexico and Mexicali, and I could see them, tanks and troops out there apparently training. Now, the Chinese embassy claims that they're just out there training because the desert terrain is similar to the Chinese desert terrain. I thought, well, if it's similar to the Chinese desert terrain, why don't they just train in China? I also know that
good point.
Yeah, and there's Chinese troops also in Cuba. In 2010, the Cuban government and China strengthened their military ties, and so there's quite a bit of military and navy over there. So basically they could invade from Cuba that way, and then come up through the Baja California side, through California, Arizona, and whatever. Also, Sean Morton had for I don't know, the past 10 years had several times talked about his remote viewing a Chinese invasion coming through Cuba and up through the south. So,
right. But in terms of what you've seen, because it's very interesting. I had myself a very, very powerful, I don't even call it a dream. It was some kind of weird vision type thing when I was in Colorado less than a year ago of Chinese troops in the Denver airport area, which is really just, it struck me as the most bizarre thing because it never occurred to me that would actually happen. Whenever I thought of Chinese troops, I always thought they would be like in California on the borders, that they wouldn't make it that far inside our country. That's just, maybe I'm too much of an American or something. I just never thought that they could do that, right?
No, Sean has seen that too.
Yeah, and so that's interesting. I didn't know Sean did that, but I have to say that so the fact that you've seen these training exercises going on, we've also been told that there's a lot of underground base stuff going on, which I guess you probably don't know anything about, right?
I'm not aware of underground bases. However, there is a significant underground system on the border, especially in the Calexico, Mexicali area that's been there since the 1800s. There is an actual quite a big Chinese culture in that area because a lot of the Chinese who worked on the railway system and stuff had settled in that area. So you've got this sort of strange Chinese, Mexican, even Indian culture, because there were a lot of, I was talking Hindu Indians, of them working the farms out there. So, but anyway, there used to be a lot of tunnels. They built a lot of tunnels, going back, 100, 150 years to transport, slave labor, drugs, of course. And there used to be a lot of, gambling casinos down there.
Exactly. Now, what about, do you have any information about like the coasts and the shipping in that area?
Well, apparently, China owns the port over in Long Beach.
Well, I've heard that as well. It's hard.
We have one of our people here on Revolution Radio lives in Long Beach, and he says Clinton had brokered that deal. Yeah.
I heard there was some kind of nuance to it. I'm not sure what it is. I have heard that they bought that piece of real estate, but there was some kind of issue where, I don't know, they don't own certain things. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
So you haven't heard any of the details around that then?
Not exactly, no.
Okay.
I have heard that they're trying to, also trying to buy Panama.
Yeah, I mean, it's very fascinating. I'm also told that they're, by a certain whistleblower, that they're buying, farms in the inland area, the Midwest, because that's the breadbasket, and
right.
they want to use that to grow food for their people.
Well, I mean, they certainly do already own much of our debt and a lot of real estate. That's one of my theories why they would invade. Say, for instance, there's a big civil war, economic collapse in the United States. They could just say, well, we've got to come in and protect our investment. We already owned it, and so, the World Court and UN would say, well, yeah, they got the right to do that. That's their property.
Well, my whistleblower and I were just, one of them, we're talking about this actually, and we were talking about, I said, well, what about the New Madrid Fault? Isn't that going to interfere? And he said, no, because that kind of just creates he called it a shipping lane. I don't know. Just, he has a sense of humor. Going up the north, up north to south, a shipping lane, and that it would, and that they would still have that, I don't know, there's like a highway they're building from Mexico up to Canada. Yes. I forget what it's called.
The NAFTA or something like that.
Yeah, well, a lot of the hospitals are having a hard time getting a hold of certain medical supplies, a lot of base drugs like the morphines and the Dilaudids and the heparins and the stuff like that, and it's all being sucked up into these basically government warehouses. Some of them are headed into a lot of these, and you can't see me, but I'm making quotes with my fingers. FEMA camps are actually attached to federal pens, and there's a couple of places here in Kentucky where you got a federal pen, but also attached to it is 100,000 acres of basically forested area with all these 50-person bungalows. Basically, they look like family units, more or less, and they're all empty. They're full, and and they have a couple of medical bungalows in the batch that are full of supplies and meds and drug safes and stuff like that. But yeah, all this stuff is empty.
Okay, but you also said that there was this weird thing. What was that? There was this drug where this Vietnam guy told you what they do, nicking the liver or something. I mean, it's really actually kind of sick.
Heparin, if you nick the liver with a needle and then inject somebody with heparin, they'll bleed out no mess into their body cavity in about 20 minutes.
Okay, and so you're suggesting, and then they're stockpiling this heparin. I mean, the government's buying it,
there's
right?
All kinds of uses of it, but that's one of the more nefarious uses of heparin. And it wasn't Vietnam. It's a guard that I knew that worked in that lives up here now, that used to work in a prison in Mexico, and they used to use it to get rid of problem cases. So Mexican prisons are very strange places. They're less prison and more sold off as small towns. Have you ever been around one, Mike?
Just the Tijuana jail, but that, I wouldn't call it a town.
Yeah. There's a couple that are, these prisons are, they actually made a movie that featured one similar to it called Get the Gringo or something that just came out recently. But, it could be used, heparin can be used to bleed somebody out internally into their body cavity, and it makes no mess. Nick the liver with a small needle, and they'll bleed out through the liver very quickly. You also have a phone call, 814, and I think that is that your guest? Yes, it is. There's your guest, Doug.
Oh my God, that's awesome. Okay, well, let him in.
Okay, Doug, you're on the air, and I'll turn it back to you, Cassidy. Kerry.
And Michael, you can stay with us if you like. You're absolutely welcome. Is this Douglas?
It is indeed, I apologize. I'm embarrassed. I talk about messing up times.